Sheriff Bill Gore says he is shocked over the reaction to his fentanyl video.
A fired La Mesa police officer facing a felony charge will take you inside Matthew Dagis's preliminary hearing.
A savage killing here more than 3 decades ago. Today, a parole hearing scheduled and delayed.
Plus, can companies isolate employees who refuse to get the COVID-19 vaccine? We verify.
Chula Vista Brewery had to take down their outdoor dining parklet, and they say it's an unfair and unjust action by the city.
And these weren't your typical thieves, where 2 bears broke into a family's home and tore it apart. News 8 at 6 starts now.
Good evening and thanks so much for joining us tonight. I'm Marcella Lee.
And I'm Jesse Pagan. Carlo Cicchetto is off. Sheriff Bill Gore says he's shocked by backlash from the medical community over his release of a public safety video on fentanyl. The video shows a deputy passing out after testing drugs in the field confirmed to be fentanyl.
As News 8's David Godwinson reports, Gore backed out of media interviews this morning, set up so he could respond to the criticism.
Being exposed to just a few small grains of fentanyl could have deadly consequences.
This is the video criticized by some in the medical community as perpetuating a false narrative that merely touching or accidentally inhaling fentanyl can cause a first responder to overdose. Sheriff Bill Gore released the video last week, and the backlash was swift.
This video is misinformation, and nobody should believe what's in this video.
Dr. Ryan Marino is a medical toxicologist from Ohio who first criticized the video, showing a deputy collapsing after doing a field test on fentanyl powder during an arrest.
Everyone should care about fentanyl overdoses. I think everyone should have Narcan and be prepared to use it, but this video is incorrect and is going to cause a lot of harm.
In an interview with the San Diego Union Tribune, Sheriff Gore admitted he had no blood tests to confirm the deputy actually overdosed, and that it was Gore, not a doctor, who concluded that the deputy overdosed after incidental contact with fentanyl. I'm sorry, my mind didn't go to, oh, our deputy fainted, our deputy had a panic attack. It just didn't go there. To my mind, it was an overdose from the drug, from fentanyl, the UT quoted Gore as saying. Some of the misinformation may have come from this 2016 DEA press release that said, quote, just touching fentanyl or accidentally inhaling the substance is one of the biggest dangers with fentanyl for law enforcement officers. A DEA spokesperson did not respond to News 8 for comment. In 2018, one activist posted this video on Facebook holding fentanyl powder in the palm of his hand to demonstrate that fentanyl cannot be quickly absorbed through the skin. Leo Beletsky with UC San Diego School of Medicine told News 8 he's glad the false narrative is finally being debunked.
It's really refreshing, actually, that you're doing this and, other news outlets are finally waking up to the fact that, oftentimes law enforcement is wrong on drugs.
Sheriff Gore scheduled an interview with News 8 for this morning, and then a spokesperson emailed us and canceled that interview. Tonight, that public safety video is still posted online on the Sheriff's Department social media account. Jesse?
David, what about the deputy involved in all of this at the center of it? Any more information coming from and about him?
Well, in the UT interview, the sheriff said that the deputy has signed a release allowing his medical records to be made public. But at this point, it's unclear whether he even did a blood test to confirm fentanyl in his system.
David Godfreyson. David, I'm sure you'll be following this one as well. Thank you. A former La Mesa police officer involved in a controversial arrest was in court today facing a felony charge.
Matthew Dagis lost his job after the department accused him of lying about the arrest, which was captured on camera. News 8's Steve Price has reaction from today's preliminary hearing.
Former La Mesa police officer Matthew Dagis in court Tuesday for preliminary hearing. He's facing a felony charge for allegedly lying on a police report. And many believe that incident sparked outrage that contributed to a major riot.
His voice sounded sort of urgent and it was kind of loud.
Witnesses on the stand reliving Dagis's actions on May 27, 2020. He was working with several other officers on a special trolley fare enforcement operation.
What'd I tell you? I told you I was waiting for somebody to come here?
It happened near the Grossmont Transit Center. Amari Johnson waiting for a friend when Dagis approaches. Videos don't show their initial interaction, but they do show Degas pushing Johnson several times and eventually arresting him. In his report, Degas said he approached Johnson because he was illegally smoking, a position facts in the case don't seem to support.
The false police report is that he thought he was smoking. He didn't think he was smoking because he had no cigarettes, he had no lighter, he didn't even raise a lit object to his lips. This is a lie.
Supporters of Amari Johnson are disappointed that Degas isn't facing more serious charges for his physical actions and credit Amari for staying relatively calm.
I see in the video, and we all see in the video, where he's holding Amari Johnson, pulling him by the t-shirt and pushing him away. This is antagonizing. This is kind of like baiting the person into an altercation.
Degas had several supporters in the courtroom who say the charge against him is unwarranted.
Well, here we have a rogue DA who is prosecuting an officer unjustly. I think she's trying to appease the mob rule. Obviously, 2 days after this George Floyd incident, it's very volatile.
That volatility led to this, a huge riot in the streets of La Mesa that led to multiple injuries and destruction of property.
I saw Mr. Johnson standing up.
This preliminary hearing is to determine if there's enough evidence to send the case to trial. It's scheduled to continue tomorrow in El Cajon. Steve Price, News 8.
And all charges were dropped against Amari Johnson. Thanks, Steve. Homicide investigators are looking into a disturbing death in City Heights. They say a man may have been murdered by an arrow, as in bow and arrow. The man was just found after midnight at the Central Avenue Mini Park. Investigators say it is likely the man was killed by an arrow, but they're waiting for official confirmation from the medical examiner's office. They say no witnesses have come forward in this case. No arrests have been made. Anyone with information about this death should call San Diego police.
The Dixie Fire in Northern California has now exploded into the largest single fire in state history. Tonight, it's only 25% contained and has destroyed nearly 900 homes and other buildings.
We sent News 8's Ariana Cohen to Greenville in Plumas County today. It is a historic town that has seen the most devastation of all the way up there in Northern California. Ariana was able to give water and snacks to a man who said he stayed inside his home during the fire and watched it pass by him.
Take a look at this. It's desolate. It's a ghost town. It's like a scene out of a movie. But it's one thing to see this through your screen. Imagine if this was your community, your neighborhood. Well, that's the reality for people who lived in Greenville. And I talked to one man who was here since the beginning of the fire.
It's like, it's like somebody just came in here and dropped a bomb in this place.
Jim Kane has lived in this small town of Greenville for 25 years.
I was standing, like, basically right here in this area. This whole sky right here was all lit up in orange.
He stayed home when the Dixie Fire ripped through just a block away.
We stayed here the whole time, all the way from day one.
He didn't evacuate because he said he had nowhere else to go.
Luckily, there's a break that's in here. Those flames came across that road. It was fast. My father-in-law's house, it's gone, and he's 88 years old. So this was his life.
The Dixie Fire, named after the road it started on, has burned close to a month, devastating this small historic town, destroying some buildings that have stood since 1860.
It's just, there's a lot of history in this town. Until you actually really come here and you actually see this, the pictures that you see on TV don't do no justice at all, none. You have people here that were actually born and raised in this town. And I know it's breaking their heart.
Despite the tragic circumstances, Jim says he is hopeful.
The foundation of the buildings, even though everything else is gone, the root of this community is held strong.
Jim says he's thankful he doesn't have any damages to his home, but he says he still doesn't have power or electric, and he's having trouble reaching his family members. I want to show you one more look around here because some of these buildings, one was a bank, one was a restaurant, a library, and another was a popular bar where the community hung out. And authorities tell us people cannot be let back in here unless they have a sheriff's escort. Ariana Cohen, News 8.
Ariana, very tough out there. Today, hundreds of San Diegans gathered at the convention center to remember the life and legacy of Father Joe Carroll.
Father Joe died at the age of 80 a month ago today after decades of serving San Diego's homeless. He was known for his relentless fundraising that will help continue his mission for decades to come.
Regardless of circumstance, he was always there for them. And in a way, as an example for the rest of us, of what generosity and kindness looks like.
The public is invited to give an honor gift in Carroll's name to the Father Joe Carroll Memorial Fund to continue his mission. We have the donation link on this story at CBS8.com.